What's happening, you guys? It's the Cassius Morris Show. Thank you for tuning in. Back with episode number 175. Getting pretty close to that 200 episode mark and really just trying to keep ramping up the content. And that's why I'm very happy to have the guest on that I have today. Not only is he a guest on this podcast, not only is he one of the greatest comedians currently in the circuit in the world right now, but this is a friend of mine. This is somebody who I consider family, and this is a person that I truly love. One of my favorite people in the world. One of the reasons it was really important for me to have this conversation now is really in light of all the craziness that's going on. Of course, if you're watching this in present day, there's riots going on. I'm not going to sit here and go on a tangent about it. But in times like this, you can either do one of two things. You have a choice in these situations. You can either plug yourself into the negative and sort of feed the machine, or you can unplug yourself from it, stop feeding it, and you can discuss the real life issues that are in front of us, because to ignore them is irresponsible and a little stupid. I mean, when there's major cities going through major issues, you have to acknowledge these things if you're a logical human being. But it's in the way you acknowledge it. Are you going to feed the machine that's trying to make it worse, or are you going to acknowledge it in a way to have a conversation on a public forum and hopefully try to enlighten people or make people feel better about that situation, or maybe flip that situation a different way and try to draw something else from it? So that's really what I feel like we accomplished in this conversation here with Joey. We did discuss the riots. We discussed all this crazy stuff that's going on, and that's not all we talked about, but he put that Joey flair into it. And it just helps me, at least has helped me make sense of all of this. Discussing real life issues with levity, with love, with the light. I'm trying to bring light to you guys. I'm trying to push positivity out to you guys. And if I can do anything with this platform, it's that. So shout out to Uncle Joey. Shout out to Lee Syatt. Lee Syatt, I'm sorry. I just say your name how Uncle Joey says it, and I'm always complaining about people calling Cassius instead of Cassius, so I apologize. Lee Syatt. His name is Syatt, folks. Come on now, get it together. Can't be slipping, as Uncle Joey would say. So without further ado, here is my conversation with the man, the myth, the legend, Joey Coco Diaz. And if you like what you've been seeing here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Plenty more content to come. All right, let's run it.
My little brother, my little nephew, the original.
My main man. How you feeling, Uncle Joey?
Good.
Good?
Trying to put the pieces together.
Aren't we all, man? Aren't we all? Absolutely. Well, it's great that I get to talk with you right now. I feel like it's much needed.
Yes. No, I've been looking forward to them. It's amazing. I've watched you grow into a fucking savage. So I'm very proud that I've watched you, just do amazing things. You stuck with it, and look at you. You're going to fucking take over like Kanye in 5 years.
That's the plan.
I'll be working for you. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you've always instilled that mentality in me, and we are rolling right now. So I think it's fit to just jump right into it if you're cool with that.
I'm cool. How's your family?
The family's doing good. Yeah, thanks for asking.
How's your sister doing? Everybody's good?
Sister's good. She's head over heels in love. She's got her boyfriend. They're going on trips together. It's crazy.
How old is she?
She just turned 20.
Good for her, man. God bless her.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Dad's good?
Dad's good. It's a tough situation right now, with everything that's going on. And I heard you talking about it, and I actually passed on your sentiments to the essential workers, and he appreciated that. But how about Terry and Mercy? What's going on with you?
My day has changed a lot. My life has changed a lot, and I like it. I like I got to be honest with you. I wasn't happy for the last 2 years how I'm happy right now. I'm sad about what's going on in the outside world, but this has been an eye-opening experience for a guy like me. I never had the balls to call my agent and go, take me off the road. I never had the balls because I thought I couldn't survive or whatever. And I'm doing what I want to do right now. I'm doing podcast. I'm riding a bike. I'm with my daughter a fucking ton. Like just, I read books. I do coloring fucking things with math. You have no idea. You know, you smoke a couple joints, and I gotta go home, and all of a sudden she hits me with this fucking sheet of paper, 9 different colors, and each color is a number, and I gotta fucking add and subtract because every color is like a picture of an elephant with all spots, with all numbers, and here I am doing math. So
She's
it
showing
has
you new
been,
things.
yeah. So it's really been weird because she's calmed down. Uh, she's taken a little bit of the anxiety away in the afternoon. That afternoon, I want to go watch the news to see what happens, but it's more important to be with her.
Right.
Situation. So the TV is not allowed on in the house before 6. So I get that negative energy in the house.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing, riding a bike, trying to be healthy. Last night was the first night I didn't sleep. Lee was up. I was up. Bobby Sharon was up.
Really?
Something was up last night because I fucking usually go to bed. The last 2 nights I fell asleep early and then got up and then sat on my front couch with a gun waiting for fucking somebody. You know
Like
what
you're
I'm
in The
saying?
Walking Dead or something.
Yeah, because they were all around the neighborhood. I saw them around the neighborhood. I went and did. Listen, I'm an old school lookout for a bookie operation. From I was 6, 7, 8. I always was trained to look to see the rhythm of the street, and it was supposed to pop off in Burbank Monday. My buddy, a dear buddy of mine, the guy that created Joy Karate with me, lives on that border. I called him, and I went out Magnolia all the way down, and it was eerie.
Yeah.
First off, it was earthquake weather.
Right. Did you guys have an earthquake? That's what I heard.
Yeah, we had an earthquake. So it was that warm, really different air, and it was like causing a circle, and people were crossing the street, not waiting for the lights. Burbank was kind of nuts. And they had 3 gun stores in Burbank, and there were lines around the corner.
Oh.
And I knew this feeling was bad. So that was I went home and I told my wife, turn the cars around, point them outward. I went to a couple of the neighbors. I said, I mean, they're probably, honest to God, what do you think, Lee? 500 yards from where we are right now.
That's
was one of the
insane.
demonstrations in the valley. They did a little damage in Lancashire. They did a little damage in Ventura, on Ventura Boulevard. You know, a lot of graffiti and stuff like that. They prepared themselves. But it's really a shame to see what's going on, man. You know, like from and I, you know, I don't even know where to start.
It's hard to find a place to start. You know what I mean? And that was one of the first things I really wanted to ask you about, like having a family. And, you know, you talk about being the man of the house, obviously, and stuff like that on the show. Like, what's it been like for you managing that with the close proximity of all this?
I decided early on, like in March, in one of my writings, I decided that for us to get through this, I had to be the man of the house.
Yeah.
So I couldn't let my anxiety, I had to have a poker face.
Mm-hmm.
Even though inside I'm falling apart just like every other fucking American.
Right.
I'm falling apart. I don't want to see people lose their businesses. I don't want to see fucking theaters closing down, you know, family businesses closing down. You know, fuck stand up. Fuck the entertainment. I'm talking about real life, man.
Human beings.
Yeah, human beings are fucking losing their minds right now. You know, this is the 3rd month they had to pay rent without a job or whatever. So I sympathize. I understand all those things. So I made it a point to not show that fear, because if I looked weak, my wife would feel weak and my daughter would feel weak. So I've kept the front of fucking old school American front. We're Americans. You know, as a man, I got to fucking lead the house, and I do a lot of things I don't want to do, but I got to do. I even went and bought a bike with a red fucking helmet. All right.
I heard you talking about the bike.
I got a gift as a bike, but and I ride with this red helmet on because I had to change my lifestyle. I had to find. I was so fucking bored.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know, you live all your life to do stand up, and then you get to that place, and it's something completely different than what you thought. It's not comedy anymore. It's the comedy business.
Right.
And for guys like me, I don't like the comedy business. I like stand-up comedy like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But once you start the comedy business, just I'm very lonely there. It's a very lonely place for me in the comedy world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Totally.
been a very hard sell. So I get all those things. So I just feel for a lot of people, man. I know what it is to live in a rocket ship. I know what it is to live week to week. I know what it is to want to steal to make ends meet. I know what it, I was a thief. I did all those things. That's why I can't judge those looters or anything like that. I just know that they were in the same place I was when I was doing all those bad things. Your heart just twisted,
You've been in their shoes, so to speak.
Yeah, I know what it's like to break a fucking window because you don't have money to go to a bar and hang out with your friends and buy a new shirt. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to fucking want to hit somebody, a homeless guy, to see a homeless guy sleeping and inside, you're like, maybe I should light him on fire. What would possess you to do something like that?
It's just the head state, though.
Yeah, it's the space in your heart and your head. So this has just been really tough to digest for everybody. One thing I do want to say, I thought about, this is where I want to start. Okay. I noticed that after Richard Pryor came back from Africa, he stopped using the N-word. I noticed that when Chris Tucker went to Africa, he stopped using the N-word. And I know that after 30 years in the business, Paul Mooney one day said, I'm going to stop using the N-word. And Pryor and Mooney are both my idols. So what I propose for the African-American community is to ban the N-word. I want it banned from all culture, music, rapping, because how can we get other people to respect us if we're disrespecting ourselves on a daily fucking basis? So when that white kid raps to fucking Biggie, I love Biggie, but how many fucking N-words did he drop? And I love him to death. So when a white kid sings that, that's going into his fucking head. So my first proposal as a human being for me is to stop saying the fucking N-word, or it's banned from my life, because it's African American. It's not black either. Who the fuck came up with black? What the fuck? Black is a fucking space. It's a fucking hole. Who came up with the word black? No more black and no more fucking N-word. From now on, it's African American. And rappers, I fucking urge you to stop using the N-word, because you're putting it into fucking culture, and since you disrespect each other, now people feel they can disrespect you. So enough with the fucking N-word and rap. Sorry about that. Let me smoke a joint now.
No, thank you for that.
Right, you know what I'm saying? That's my first thing as a personal. I noticed that those three guys, after they went to see where they came from, changed their opinions. And then years later, Paul Mooney, the great Paul Mooney, fucking the album Race is one of the most brilliant pieces of work and fucking a comedy masterpiece. And I decided 2-3 days ago in the shower, I go, first thing we got to do is ban the N-word.
Cut it off.
Level culture. Cut it off. I don't want to ever if I hear a rapper saying, I'm done with him. Pre-fucking 220, okay? I'm still going to listen to Big.
Cut off date.
I'm still on my Pac. I still got my Nas. I still got my Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I'm still going to listen to them. But as of this day, June fucking 4th, 2020, the N-word is done. No more what up and no more what up. No more.
Cancel.
Because that's giving everybody else the green light to say it and just to put it in their mental thought. I'm going to tell you something. My little daughter, I know this for a fact. When she was like 4, maybe 5, my wife says that when she goes to church, she talks to an older African-American man.
Okay.
And at lunch one day, after church, my wife said to her, so what did he say to you? And my wife goes, the guy. And she goes, who, the guy with the glasses? He's black, wears glasses. So she differentiated the two white guys she was talking to, the one black guy and the white guy, by the guy with the glasses.
Right.
She didn't look at color.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what a lot of people miss in their heads.
They missed it. I know it's so. that comes from the house. That's
Yeah.
why I posted that this morning, that for us to move forward, it's how we act behind closed doors. We
Yeah.
live right here where I live. This is hell. This is where that thing starts, but silently, because these are the worst people. These are the ones that I love. Dave Chappelle. You know
In
what I'm saying?
public, they love everybody.
They love a certain, but everybody else, when you see them. A couple of weeks ago, I had a little thing at the house. My daughter. Well, guess what? My daughter's best fucking little friend is from East Orange, New Jersey, which makes her African American.
Right.
Her parents and her dad, her mom's a nurse and her dad's in the music industry. And they're the coolest people we hang out with.
Right.
At least since this has started, they understand that kids need to see each other. So my daughter and her daughter have a band together called Poison. Oh yeah.
They have a band together?
Yeah. They put a little band together called Poison.
Nice.
My daughter plays the drums. She stole Ricky Rackman's drums from here, the sticks.
Oh, really?
And they came on Memorial Day. We had a little thing in the backyard, social distance, masks on.
Right.
It was an art show on my street. The lady said, tell all the kids in the neighborhood to draw art and put the pictures up. So my daughter put a picture up. So at 12 o'clock, my wife walked out there and me with the couple to go to the art exhibit. You had to see the looks. But we love African Americans.
But then when they see you guys walking down the street, it's...
Yeah. So we're like the monsters now in the neighborhood. Like we really are the monsters. We've been the monsters. Ever since they've come over a couple months ago, we've been the monsters in the neighborhood. The only cool person, solid, is my neighbor. My neighbor, Ron, he's got pistols. He's like, we've been talking. We both turned the cars around. We did checks around the property. I was going to go around to the neighbors, but they really don't understand,
But Ron understands it.
Ron understands. He's fucking 78. He does fucking 8 miles a day on a bike.
Damn.
He's this guy.
Did you guys ever go on bikes together?
No, he's the one that gave me the bike. So
okay.
I asked him for pointers, and he goes, do me a favor, work up to an hour, and then I'll take you out with me. So
okay.
Work up to an hour, get really good. I think I'm gonna take the bike to get tuned up. It's got shock absorbers. I gotta put some air in the shock absorbers.
There you go.
I gotta get better on the fucking whatever. But now this fucking guy tells me vandal. Listen, I've been against bicycles for years, especially in LA, because these drivers are fucking retarded.
This is what I hear. It's insane.
You have no idea. The other day I was backing out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I just finished a podcast with Lee, sober as a judge. I parked there, Bob. I go to, I make a 3-point turn, 2-point. I land and I go west. And all of a sudden, I look at my rearview mirror and I see a car going through me. The back, just coming at full speed ahead. Go look at my bumper. Go look at my bumper.
And he hit you?
Yeah. And all of a sudden, he was a nice guy.
Right.
But
they're all nice when it's time for insurance.
I could have been on a bike. And you just backed up like that and crushed me. So you got to be very careful where you go. You got to make sure the light is green for a minute before you cross, because these people will clock you. But there's parks. And me and my daughter just go to a parking lot from a church and just do fucking circles.
Just do some laps and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, 30, 40, 50 minutes, so.
Just to get out of the house.
Just to get her out, because the energy is so powerful at that age.
Yeah.
That if you don't get that energy out of them, it's going to come back to haunt you at 6 o'clock, 6:30. She has a nervous breakdown.
It's got to come out at some point. It's like it's pent up. It's not going away.
Yeah, it's not going away. That energy. So I told my wife, I go, let's talk about something. And I got a GED here. I'm no fucking social fucking whatever. But this has made me interested in 2 things. I told you that things were going to change after this.
Yep.
People are going to think to do other things and whatever. It's a shame I have a felony, because now I really want to work with kids. Now is the time for me to work with kids, like 12-year-old young boys and girls, and talk to them.
Yeah.
Like, it's time for me to do that. Nobody would give me a job. And I would like to take online courses, maybe to become a paralegal.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Volunteer in an office and just try to finish out, live out this dream of me being an attorney.
That's
I don't know what
incredible. This is news to me.
court. This is news to me.
Wow.
This is news to me.
Mm.
I got my date switched, and I'm going to do a residency for the rest of the year.
Okay.
I hope to put this book together by September. The Sopranos got pushed back till March.
Right.
But, I told people that people are really going to think about their lives after this. And they're really going to want to see what they want to do differently. A lot of people hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people starting over. A lot of people moving in with their parents.
Mm-hmm.
But they're thinking. They're thinking.
Yeah.
So sometimes change is good,
I
And I'm
completely agree.
sorry about the bloodshed that's happened to get this. I mean, we've gotten through hell the last 90 days in this country.
Honestly.
Gone through hell. How is it up in Canada by you?
It's crazy. It's a very strange thing because I'm so in tune with the US culture, especially the major cities, because that's where I plan on living. So I basically follow the locals pages and I keep up to date. And I see all this stuff going on and I walk outside and I can go walk to the store. I can go walk to malls are open here, patios are open here, bars are open here. And my part of Canada is farther ahead than most of the world even. So it's a really strange thing, like there's so much land mass here and there's not enough people. So there's just not it's not set up to loot. It's not like it's
You're in Nova
possible.
Scotia, right? You're
Right
in
now
Nova
I'm in
Scotia,
Alberta.
Alberta.
Yeah,
Okay.
and every
I'm
time I've talked to you before, I was in Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia. Okay. So, uh, what's the attitude like in Alberta? I mean, what's it like?
It's tough. There's a lot of racism here. It's probably one of the highest amounts in Canada is the racism here. Like me, when I walk around, Joey, I usually wear my hat because I'm not trying to show this hairline because it's a giveaway to a lot of people as to whatever they're looking for. And when they're trying to figure out what ethnicity I am, there's a lot of that around here. So it's weird. Like, and there's also tensions with the government in terms of economy and oil. So we're in a very unique spot here. It's almost like the Texas of Canada. People wear cowboy hats in certain areas. It's very interesting.
I heard things were popping off in Texas today, which is
And
not a good
today,
state to get things popping off because you could carry legally in Texas. So
yeah, it's no joke right now, Joey. It's crazy.
it
Well,
really is.
you mentioned a couple things. You mentioned the business of comedy and sort of how you feel more at home in the art of comedy rather than the business of
Yes,
comedy.
yes,
Talk to
yes.
me
That's
about
finally.
Yeah, talk to me about your growth in that through the last couple of years because watching your growth, watching your show and your comedy become more mainstream, I'm curious, has that affected the process or the enjoyment for you in any way, be it in a positive or negative?
I don't have any pressure. Like I don't put any pressure on myself.
Mhm.
I always want to do well.
Yeah.
I always want to give you what you paid for.
Mhm.
I liked comedy when I was free. I liked comedy when it wasn't for the money.
Right.
I loved. I didn't give a fuck about doing a free show. I
Mhm.
knew I had to clock the hours, so I
Yeah.
didn't mind it. So I knew eventually if I stuck with it, that the paycheck would come in. And then the paychecks started to come in here and there. Nothing, not I'm not talking about Dave Chappelle. No, no, no.
But
Just
making money off your art.
yeah. And it was very fun. It was very fun and very exciting in the beginning. But then you see all the people that have their hand out. When you do a theater, you look at the list of people you're paying and you're like, what the fuck are they?
Yeah.
There's just so many aspects of it that are not planned anymore. They're calling you already. 2 weeks after this was started, every agent was calling all the regular guys that you listen to know
Mhm.
going on the road and fixing their dates, and everybody's trying to get new dates. And meanwhile, Joe Rogan's closing $100 million deal at fucking Spotify.
Right.
So you see the differences in management and brain thought. I've
Yes.
always respected Joe's manager because that's what him and Joe have put together. This amazing thing they put together. The other
Insane.
bums, the bum agents, what are they doing? The managers, they're trying to switch schedules for the road to keep you out there. No, this
They're not
job.
adapting their thinking.
No, they're not adapting their thinking. This is you want to go on the road. Listen, I got a family. I want to do mini Led Zeppelin tours, 10 weeks for the year. That's it.
Right.
It's not really, every club you go to, everything. It's always and it's not even the clubs. It's just what it became for me.
Mm-hmm.
I never wanted to be Hollywood. I don't like none of this shit. I drive a Subaru.
Yeah.
I keep my mouth shut. I tend to myself. I don't go to celebrity parties. I don't go to none of that shit. I personally don't like those people. I can tell they're not for me and I'm not for them. So why are we going to lie to each other?
Right. Who's going to gain from this?
Oh, it's great. I loved your short film. Get the fuck out of here.
I love you at Sundance.
Who gives a fuck about Sundance? How much did it make at the box office? Well, get the fuck out of my face. The shit you put up with here is constant. Like you run into people, it was like the third week of the fucking COVID. And I ran into somebody and they're talking to me about Sundance.
Really?
I was like in shock. Like they like, well, we're trying to get this film into Sundance. We wanted to see if you can. I'm like, dog, I don't have the focus to watch fucking anything. I'm gonna watch some movie about a girl who goes and meets a cowboy. I don't give a fuck. The focus has been hard lately.
Yeah.
The creativity has been gone for comedy writing, but the creativity has been there for the book outlining.
Right. How far along are you? Are you about a third way, or do you have a gauge on that?
Oh, I'm going to do an audio book. So right now that saved me because it just made it go to an outline. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it off an outline. They like when I just talk. They're like, we don't mind that. If you're going to come, before I thought about this, I listened to a couple audio books, a couple biographies, a couple mafia things, and it just feels like a guy is reading you a book. I don't want you to read me a book. I want you to tell me a story.
Yeah.
So I have, like at night, I will think of something, one of my skeletons.
In the closet.
Yeah, one of the skeletons, because edibles and skeletons don't mix.
Yeah,
they
seriously.
Don't mix. If you stab somebody and you tried to keep it crazy over the years and it's worked and you do an edible, that vault opens right back up during this fucking, this quarantine makes you think of things you haven't thought of in 30 fucking years.
Something I did in the third grade that I feel bad about.
Oh my God. I thought about shit that was just awful. One night I thought I got caught up on something that was just so, the next day I looked at it and I go, that's how powerful the mind is. And I told Lee that after last Wednesday, I started eating the edibles at 11 in the morning to eliminate the munchie thing so I could eat at 6 and be hungry, because with all this anxiety, your hunger goes in different places.
Definitely.
And then the fucking edible started backfiring on me. And what was happening was, you know me, Cassius. I could tell you a story from 1981. I remember the conversation, the words.
Yeah.
But I'm forgetting. At 6 o'clock, I'm forgetting what I had for lunch.
Right.
So I was reading something the other day, and I said, part of this anxiety is short-term memory. And people I've been talking to have said, you know what? That's been happening to me. I don't even know what day it is half the fucking time.
Same here.
Somebody called me the other day and then called me back with the same story. And I go, we talked about this morning. And they go, what? I know this person. This person doesn't even drink, nothing.
Right.
He's like, no, I'm losing my mind. I go, dog, I've been doing it every day for the last month.
Right.
I had asked my wife twice today if it was Thursday. Twice.
And I think I saw Lee saying it's like even Lee finds it's the same day every day. Like I think I saw something about that.
It's the same shit every day.
Same thing every day. It's unbelievable. But I mean, here's what I want to say to you. It's like, first of all, I don't want to let it slide, the thing you talked about working with children, like, because when you look at what you're doing now, you're like a beacon of hope. You're like a shining light in a time where there's very little of that. You know what I mean? And I think that if you use your platform to do it in your own way, you could do Uncle Joey's Skype sessions. You know what I mean? You wouldn't even need to have anybody hire you. You could do it yourself, man. And I just think, and that's what ties into what we're talking about now. It's like, I just think what you guys are doing, you're doing it with grace through this.
You know, when I was sleeping in that rocket ship
Mm-hmm.
in 1984,
At the playground.
I could see myself getting up in the middle of the night, walking up to Palermo's and throwing a chair through the glass and fucking stealing sandwiches or whatever. I could see
Yeah.
myself doing that, you know. It's just a certain way that your heart was positioned, you know.
Yeah.
The world wrongs you, you wanna you know, it's natural. Oh
Mm-hmm.
shit, last night I taped The Getaway. I forgot. I'm happy I got something to watch today.
No, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
It's a good movie, The Getaway. Steve McQueen, with his real wife at the time, I forget what her name was, and he actually beat her in this movie, and they kept it on tape.
He physically beat her?
Oh my God, you got to watch The Getaway.
I'm gonna write that down.
The
Getaway.
greatest movies of all time. Steve McQueen beats the fuck out of Ally McGraw, and she was his wife in real life.
Oh shit!
He
Was
just
some pent up
her.
anger, maybe?
He went domestic violence over the top. Nobody said a word. There was no white lives mattered back then.
They just said "end scene." That's all they fucking said.
That's it. He beat the fuck out of her.
Oh my god, that's insanity. Speaking of movies, you know, and TV, I wanted to touch on this because one thing I picked up during the quarantine, right when it started, I said I need something, so I started The Sopranos. And I'm almost done the 6th season, and I'm curious, is there anything you can tell us about the project coming up? I don't want to step out of bounds or anything.
You know, The Sopranos are very secretive, like they
Mm-hmm.
by nature. They were.
Yeah.
That's how David Chase created it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a masterpiece. I think he's going to do it. He's going to do a great job with it.
Yeah.
We still have some scenes to shoot before it comes out March 12th. I'm excited. I hope people enjoy it, you know. But as far as the show, what do you think about what you've watched so far?
I think the show it's changed my thinking on a lot of things. It's changed my thinking on real life things and realizing like I got a lot of life to live, man, because there's places you can go mentally that I haven't been. And it's showing me that you can draw from that, even if it's a tragedy, even if it's something like that. It's opened my mind to so much stuff. It's insane. Did you ever
No,
get to meet James Gandolfini?
never.
Yeah.
Never. What a shame. And you know
Mm-hmm.
what? I was telling my wife I fucking miss him.
Yeah.
But lately, when I put The Sopranos, Sons of Anarchy, or Narcos on, I go right to sleep. It's like an automatic fucking sleeping pill.
Mm.
Like I've tried to dip back in, but from the road, because that's my go-to on the road.
Okay.
When I'm on the road, I'll fucking 3 nights, I'll just go on a Narcos 12-episode run.
Yeah. The Narcos goes deep.
Oh, and you go out of the hotel, you smoke a joint, you stop, fucking 6 cookies, you go back up in your room, smoke, you fucking bang one out, you watch another episode, you take a shower, you come on your feet. I mean, it's just constant. You go to the gym, you come back, you watch another episode. So everything is around it about. So I would do this, like when I was shooting The Sopranos for 3 weeks, I would just watch The Sopranos.
Yeah.
I just started from day one, just to get the patois as I was shooting it, just to get the patois.
It's a certain aura, a certain energy from it.
Yeah, that's certain. And then I learned, I was watching the old episodes, and I learned why David Chase worked the way he did, why he's so brilliant, and why his mind could take you to those dark places.
Yeah.
You know, Lee knows I have a dark sense of humor. But for me, I think my favorite parts of The Sopranos is when James Gandolfini beats up his cousin Georgie. I would pay to have somebody that I could beat up 2 times a year. Like, it's not bad. Like, no stitches or nothing. Just like
just some minor injuries.
What the fuck is like a little cousin that you could kick in the stomach and go, what the fuck is wrong? Like the one time when he couldn't get the phone right and his mother's kitchen was on fire. And he's like, it's online too. And then the other time with the ice. Yeah, the ice melts. What the fuck are we doing here? We in the ice business? And he started throwing little ice cubes and shit. Then the last time he beat him, he quit.
Right.
Remember, he quit. Paulie came to his house and said to him, he's fucked up. He lost an eye or something.
You got to straighten out. Straighten out.
Yeah. He gives him money. He goes, he quit the Bing, and he doesn't want to talk to you. You know, that's how it ended with that relationship. Yeah. Usually, how many beatings can you give somebody before they finally realized.
Well, he's
This is
gotten
the
away
best.
with a lot more than I thought he would have. So,
What a brilliant show in the fact that he would cheat on his wife, but women would watch him every fucking week. Nobody said a fucking word.
I know.
We allow things that lets you know how we think.
Yes.
We allow things, and we don't allow. You know what I'm saying? Like we all let things slide. Like I watched a movie called Magic City once.
Okay.
Magic City was a show on Showtime. Interesting show. I think I watched 4 or 5 episodes. Episode 5, they killed the dog. I never watched the fucking show again. German Shepherd. But in episode 4 or 5 of Narcos, Gaza shoots the German Shepherd. Remember when Pablo Escobar makes the boat out of cocaine and he puts the dog and he goes sniff it, and the dog can't sniff it, and Nacha goes, give me the money, and Nacha gives him the money, and all of a sudden he takes a fucking 45 out and he shoots the dog.
Damn.
And Pablo Escobar's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? He goes, the dog was no good to me. I kept watching it after that.
And you made it through.
Right. I didn't watch Magic City, maybe because they're Spanish. I let them get away with it. Something. There had to be something.
And you got through Chris Soprano killing his dog.
Yeah. That's why we let certain people, that's why I think that that's the change we need to make. We need to judge everybody the same instead of letting people go on certain things, including myself. I know there's things I can do to clean up my life. So I think before we could clean up everybody else's yard, we got to clean up our own backyard right now.
Yeah.
Because we're doing something wrong. Everybody's doing something wrong. That's why it's not working.
Yet it's so much easier for everybody to say what you're doing wrong and he's doing wrong and the government's doing wrong, but no one can really as quickly say what they're doing wrong. You're right, Joey. I think that's a big thing. It's like, let's look at ourselves.
That's it. We got to clean ourselves mentally. We got to look at things for what they are, because of who I am and I was raised, I would always carry a gun. But because of my religious beliefs, I can't have a gun. Right. In my world, a gun is a magnet that attracts magnets. It's a magnet.
It attracts that energy.
When I used to carry a gun, every time I'd bump into somebody and I'd hug them, I'd feel a gun on them. That's not good. I still get stifled when I hug somebody and I feel a gun. I still get stifled. There's a dear friend of mine in Arizona. And whenever I go down to Arizona, we do breakfast together. When I hug him, he always has a piece because he's allowed to carry. He's not a cop. He's like a gym owner or whatever.
Right.
But what were we talking about? Guns.
Yeah, when you hug somebody and you feel a piece. And
now, after what I saw this week, I believe in the Second Amendment. You got to get a gun. They're running wild. This is not what I saw and what people saw, breaking windows. That's not the way to get things handled. We all know that. Listen, here's the funny thing. In this whole thing, I'm a comic. I just remembered that I did this thing for Ari where I told a joke about fun. And it's a true story. I got left back. I didn't tell my mother. And for years, I didn't tell her. And I always knew I was going to get away with it. I just didn't know how. And one morning, I wake up to check on her, and she's fucking dead. And I remember seeing her purple arm and going, ooh, I knew she was never going to fucking find out about the 7th grade. That is the darkest fucking joke I have ever written. Well, I got a dark sense of humor. The other night, I'm watching TV Sunday night, okay? And I'm watching L.A., and they're chasing these fucking kids and these looters. They're showing the cars pull up, and they jump out, and they disperse, and then they got surrounded, and they went out on Melrose behind the back, and they're running down. I go, look at the fucking cardio on these guys. These guys have been out since 6 o'clock. It's 1 in the morning, and they're still running. Do you know somebody said something to me on Twitter yesterday? That I got like 3 or 4 complaints yesterday.
About that comment?
About that comment?
Stupid.
About the comment about fucking, it's a joke. I've been up 2 nights waiting for somebody to kick in the door. The best way, if you want to ice somebody, invite them over for dinner.
Yeah.
Bro, people fucking came at me like, I'm like, you know what's going on right now? It's better just to keep your mouth shut.
In a lot of cases, it is.
He shot himself yesterday. Drew Brees might as well start teaching golf. He's never thrown another ball again, that poor bastard.
What did he say?
He said some shit, that he's not gonna kneel. Who are the
Oh,
biggest linemen in the fucking league? Big African American dudes, and you're gonna say something like that? Watch them all fall. You're gonna get killed. They're gonna kill you. You're gonna have PTSD. You're gonna shoot yourself and your mother after this, and the two grandfathers that went to the war. He shot. Now he retracted them, but the damage is done. He's done. He's like, right now, it's better to wait till things to escalate, because I found out you can't even crack a joke.
and I
That
wanted to
was a
ask you
joke.
about
I
that.
was just sitting there watching, and I go, wow, those Looney. Listen, in this lifetime and what's going on right now, if you can't make yourself laugh, you're going to have a problem.
You're in trouble.
I'm an only child. I know how to make myself laugh. And when I get that little giggle, that evil giggle, that's a tweet. That's
Right.
a tweet. I got to make somebody's night. Somebody just had an argument with their wife. Somebody just had a bad situation with their kid. Somebody just got a fucking an eviction notice.
Yeah.
Somebody just got a bad credit card thing. They can't pay their credit card. Somebody is looking up and going, finding salvation. They go, the looters have cardio. And they laugh. And for 5 minutes, they go, fucking Joey Diaz is such a fucking sack of shit. But he always makes me laugh. Good. But for you to say I supported the looters, that's what they were saying. But I said with that joke. So they're twisting things around. I see that already.
Yeah.
That it's twisting things. So, I put the other day, much, much love. Have a safe day. Some guy was like, fuck you. I don't, So they just, people are out there looking for it. Stay home. We're still in the quarantine. I heard that we got 20,000 new cases in LA. That's in the country. That's from everybody breathing on each other.
Running around.
Whatever the fuck they call it. Herd, whatever. You gotta see Lee. He's got some hot pants on. I might have to call my old gay friend, come over and make 10% off the top here. You know what I'm saying?
I saw his gay pride picture, so that was interesting for sure.
The guy was choking him with a dildo. I've never thought of that. Gay people are fucking geniuses. They know how to rock the house. He was choking him with a dildo. When I saw that, I'm like, that is fucking.
That's revolutionary.
Who the fuck? Che Guevara didn't even think of that. Fuck that revolutionary. Che Guevara. I never seen him choke Fidel with a dick. That is tremendous. If I was gay, that would be my trademark. But I'd have the double loop.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'd have the
extendo.
Double loop dick. That you squeeze them this way and you got to fuck them sideways in the ass. So you hit the kidney, you hit the liver. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck Steve Jobs. He doesn't know shit.
Fuck no. You get them with that triple double, and then you fuck them sideways so the dick hits the liver, and they want to kneel down. They can't take it no more. It's like a liver kick from John Jones. You know what I'm saying?
They'll be right next to Colin Kaepernick at the game.
Oh
my God, Joey, that's hilarious, man. Listen, I love this, man. I love that we got to talk. The only thing that I really wanted to cover, like before we wrap it up, type of thing, is like you're obviously talking about the advancement, not staying in that I'm trying to rebook my schedule mode. You're staying at what am I doing next mode. So like when things are open and stuff, are we going to see you doing more Zoom podcasts like this, or are you going to go back to the formula you were doing? What do you think? Or has it not even crossed your mind yet?
Man, I'm doing this day by day.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be in Brea this weekend.
Okay.
Starting tonight. I have not been on stage for 90 days.
Wow.
I got a call last Friday, and they said, listen, do you mind if we move it to the following week? And I said, no. But I'm going to be more rustier.
Right.
Then last night they called and they said, can we move it to the 25th to the 27th? And I said, absolutely. I got a residual. I got a residency there at the Brea Improv.
Okay.
Starting in July. God, they're only going to allow to seat 200 off the bat. So, I mean, that's one of my plans. The audio book is a plan.
Right.
They really don't know what's going on with what. The planes haven't changed their whatever and their rules. So,
yeah,
let's just agree to disagree. I'm 57 years old. I've made mistakes along the way. Right now, I live my life correcting them now. I've apologized to people on the podcast. I've done it. And the other thing I had to apologize is to my body. for the abuse I did to it. So
Hmm.
now I drink the dark cherry juice. This morning I rode the bike. I'm on the bike. I
Yeah.
do push-ups and sit-ups every day. I drink as much water as I can. And I'm 57. I'm not taking steroids. You're not gonna burn your metabolism, but I'm working at it.
Yeah. Day by
Uh,
day.
so I talked to my doctor, and we discussed the plan. He was like, "Listen, man, you're in great shape. You're a fat fuck, but you're fine. Your numbers are great. You're fucking worlds away from diabetes. You have the sleep apnea, but I gotta tell you, I fall asleep on the couch all the time, and my wife says I don't snore because I don't put my head down. I put my head back. She goes, "You don't snore. It's fucking amazing. I don't know
Interesting.
what you did." Yeah, it's been the years of working. I couldn't breathe at one time.
Wow.
So
So you're
even with the
improving.
reefer, yeah, even with the reefer. So what I wanted, I got the hyperextension, but there's two types of hyperextension. There's uncontrolled hyperextension, and there's controlled hyperextension. Mine is
Okay.
controlled. So I'm just gonna stay home,
Yeah.
be a dad, work on a new hour. That's in the now. Whatever I was saying 3 months ago, God knows what the fuck I was saying. I don't remember none of those fucking jokes.
I know my
I don't
jokes are off the map now.
I don't want to fucking do them. I don't want to do no fucking old material. So I'd rather start from scratch and go out there when the people are ready, when the people are healed. You know what I'm saying? Keep my ticket prices low, $25, $20.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get into your head and fuck with you. I think every comic should do, something like that to let the people, they've gone through a lot.
They have.
American people have gone through a lot. Listen, I'm a piece of shit. I've gone through this. I'm an only child. I went to prison. Americans don't deserve what's going on right now. There's a lot of good fucking Americans. And let me tell you something else. There's a lot of great cops. I
Yeah.
don't ever want you to think to let a fucking, it's like everything. Don't, one bad apple, please, America, Canada, don't fucking look at the shit in Minneapolis and reflect on every police officer. I talked to two cops right now on the phone. We check in with each other 10 days, every 10 days. Why? Because we grew up together, whatever. But it doesn't matter. I have the utmost respect for the police. I've been arrested. I've never used the word pig on my podcast or written it down. You could go all the way back on 780 episodes.
That's a
I've always
fact.
they have a job to do, and I had a job to do. My job was to steal. Their job was to catch me.
Right. You guys are all doing what you needed to do.
And they caught me. You know what I'm saying? So I paid my dues to society. I lived in a rocket ship. I went through my addiction. And now I'm just trying to go into, I just want to see my daughter graduate college. Is that too much to ask? And then they
Absolutely
can take
not.
me out however the fuck they want. They can shoot me. They can take me to Cuba and bury me. As long as I see that little girl graduate, I'm good. That's the deal I made with myself. So that's it, brother. We're going to
Love
keep
that.
doing this fucking show. But I want to repeat it again through you and through your forum and to your fans. My first plan of attack is personally banning the N-word starting today, June 4th, 2020 in my life. I can't throw away my Biggie albums. I'm not going to lie. I can't be a hypocrite. I can't throw away my Biggie Apple. I can't
No.
Wu-Tang. That's in the past. But if we're going to start the change, that's the first change I go to opt. We ban, as African Americans, we ban the N-word from music, art. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it no more. Because before we could earn the respect, we got to respect each other. Whether it's on the corner, at the liquor store, at the African American barbershop, at the African American church, at the club, all that bullshit has to fucking end.
Yes.
And that's what I want to say. Because listen, I have during this thing also, I have had some intense conversations with my uncle.
Okay.
My uncle's 82, and I really want to put him on the podcast one last time, but I'm scared he don't know nothing about fucking Zoom.
Right.
You can't bring him in here. He'll get HIV in here. So he'll tell you about Cuban racism. He'll tell you about racism that makes me cry on the phone with him.
Yeah.
He's my uncle. He's my mother's brother. We all have African blood. They're like the cats I had. Harry had stripes, and he would look like a leopard. And his brother Dimmy, the same father and the same mother had. So every generation, if you have African in you, one of your kids is gonna fucking come out with an afro. My uncle was that kid. My uncle has stories of racism. They wouldn't let him play baseball. They held him one day, and they let a dog piss on him. And he goes, "That's what brought me good luck." He goes, "That changed my life ever since that dog pissed on me. Till this day, because I'm happy about racism, because they held him down when he was 11 and they made a dog piss on him. He went to a different town in Cuba. So that's all bullshit. What you see that the Cubans, the Americans that went to Cuba, they kept them at the hotels, the nice ritzy hotels. They never showed you the inside of Cuba. Where when what episode 1 of Celia on Netflix, they wouldn't let her enter the contest because her skin was dark. You know how tough of a sale Celia Cruz was? Because her skin was dark. She was a dark Cuban. So it's in my blood. So when I say the word African American, I did the fucking DNA test. I got a nice big percentage of African American blood. You could see it in my face.
Yeah.
You could see it in my heart and my soul and my music. So I ban the N-word, and I suggest everybody start with that. Any music, if you're African American and you're a young rapper, please don't use that word ever again in your art. And that's the first way to stop anybody else from using it. That word goes into your psyche, just like the fear from COVID. When you watch it on the news over and over, that's the fear. So if you keep hearing it and you keep hearing African Americans call themselves that, hey, if they call themselves that, I could call them that fucking too. No. So let's fucking ban it. That's it, and that's that. It's always a pleasure to see you. And I've been waiting
Joey.
for that kid.
Thank you so much, Uncle Joey. Yeah, and I'll tell you, as the first step, I'm obviously pushing that clip in my music that I have been making. I'm completely shutting it down. I wasn't using it before, but I'm not going to now.
From now on, we're Africans and shit. That's it. What's up, African? What up, African? Let's take it back to the motherland once and for all. I love you, little brother. Thank you for taking the time and having me on the show this week.
Joey Diaz, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
And there you have it, my exclusive conversation with Joey Coco Diaz, Mad Flavor, Joey Karate, Big Papa. I think that the nicknames go on and on. Shout out to Uncle Joey, like I said, for coming on, helping me send some positivity, helping me use my platform to raise awareness about real life issues and not do it in a shitty, depressing way that's going to make things worse and feed the issue, to actually talk about these things and maybe help, like I said in the beginning, make some sense of all this. If you like what you saw here on this podcast, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below or in the bottom right corner of the screen. Click the subscribe icon and please click that like button and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about Joey's appearance on the show today. The next episode of this podcast is going to be with legendary ESPN and TSN sportscaster Michael Landsberg. I had almost a full hour with him, an interviewer interviewing somebody who's been in the field, ready for the word again, doing interviews for over 20 plus years. This dude's an absolute legend. I mean, he's interviewed Gene Simmons, Dana White, Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis. The list goes on and on and on. Definitely don't miss that. Smash that subscribe button. Thanks for listening. Until next time, it's Cassius Morris saying, rock on.